Well, the RLA is delighted to welcome back to the Future Renting Conference here in Cardiff for a second time Housing and Regeneration Minister Rebecca Evans. And Rebecca's just finished her keynote address to the 200 landlords here today. And Rebecca, when we saw you last time at last year's event, you'd literally been in your role for a few weeks, so a bit of a baptism of fire. Now you've come back with a year's experience in your role as Housing Minister. What did you want to convey to landlords this year?
The first thing that I wanted to do this year was to say thank you to the sector for working so well with me across the last year and for sharing their insights with me, their concerns, giving us feedback on our legislative proposals and so on. So an opportunity really to continue to cement what I think is a really important relationship. I also wanted to talk today about where we go next and the opportunities that I see for us working together. And I really do see the PRS as playing a crucial role in terms of meeting Wales's housing need. I want to expand that in terms of how it meets the needs of people who are vulnerable, people on lower incomes, people on benefits and so on. I understand the risks from the part of landlords. However, I do think that there are things we can do working together to overcome some of that.
And you did mention specifically tenants in receipt of housing benefit, how there was discrimination against them. That's been a big topic in the media in recent weeks. And you want to work closely with landlords and I guess the lenders as well to remove that discrimination.
That's right. So we're putting together a proposal in Welsh Government where we could work with landlords to ensure that when they do rent to people who are on benefits or families on low income, for example, that they do have security of payment of their rent, that they do have tenants who are supported throughout their tenancy, and also that they have an accommodation which is maintained at that good standard. So these are ideas that we're really keen to work with the RLA on developing with a view to introducing a pilot scheme.
How much do you value the input of the RLA?
I really value the input of the RLA. They are clearly experts in the field, representing and being a strong voice for the private rented sector. So the input that we have in terms of legislation, in terms of campaigns is wonderful. And also the opportunity that the RLA takes to work with others. So they worked, for example, with Tai Pawb on providing some really good advice for landlords in terms of how they can rent their properties to people who may be disabled or have other protected characteristics. And I think embracing that has been really positive.
I think one of the biggest challenges of your role is striking that balance and fairness between tenant and landlord, and that was one of the key things that I took away from your speech, that you were very mindful of that and you wanted to really think about how you could be as fair as possible to both parties.
That's right. I'm really keen that we do protect tenants, we support tenants, but equally protect and support good landlords as well, because of course the interrelationship there is really important, because if we don't have good landlords, then some of our most vulnerable people will be either with rogue landlords or unable to find the kind of property they need. So the private rented sector clearly is an important piece of the jigsaw in meeting Wales's housing needs.
Indeed, and you were very keen to say to the landlords today that you wanted them to engage in your pilot programmes and some of the other initiatives that you've got going on. And it does send a clear message that you are listening to us. And I think that's something, just playing devil's advocate, that landlords sometimes feel is that they're not listened to not listened to. And I think you've gone a long way today to dispel that.
Great. I'm really keen to hear what landlords have to say on the whole range of issues, particularly about the barriers that they see to renting to more vulnerable people. But equally, I know that landlords have a whole range of concerns across a wide manner of areas, and I'm always keen to hear them and see how we can work together to address those things. And I have to say the RLA does a really good job in terms of being the voice for the sector, and I'm always keen to be as accessible as I can be.
Well, indeed, thank you so much again for participating here at the event. Really, really great to have your contribution here, and I know that you so welcome this kind of engagement with the landlord community.
I do. It's wonderful, and it's been good actually to have the opportunity to have some questions at the end, because that's when you really get to hear what is on people's minds. So there were some things for me to take away there and have some further discussions with colleagues with responsibility for energy and planning and so on. I'll certainly be doing that.
Well, what a positive outcome of your visit here today. Thank you very much, Housing Minister. Thank you.
Thank you very much.